Imagine living in a world where monsters emerge from mysterious gates and threaten to destroy humanity. Only people known as Santas are brave enough to enter and fight the creatures behind these gates. Now imagine being the weakest Santa in the world, barely surviving the simplest dungeons. That was Sung Jin Woo's life until he gained a unique power that changed everything. He gained access to a mysterious system. Sung Jin Woo became the player, a special hunter who can level up and grow stronger by completing quests and killing monsters. He also unlocked the hidden class of necromancer, a powerful individual who can command an army of loyal shadows. Jin Woo went from being a joke in the hunter community to becoming the strongest hunter and beyond. He became the Shadow Monarch, the most powerful being on earth. But how strong is Sung Jin Woo really? Sung Jin Woo was initially an E-rank hunter, the lowest of the low. He had no special abilities, no talents, and no prospects. He only entered the dungeon to earn money for his family, risking his life every time. After finding himself trapped in a double dungeon, his fate took a dramatic turn. He encountered a mysterious statue granting him access to a system that guided him to level up, gain strength, and earn rewards and stats. The system was in fact the legacy of the Shadow Monarch, a cosmic being that once ruled over the shadows. Sung Jin Woo gradually inherited the Shadow Monarch's powers and abilities by following its quests and instructions. The system allowed Sung Jin Woo to increase his stats such as strength, speed, stamina, and magic by killing monsters, completing missions, and investing points. With each level up, Sung Jin Woo becomes more physically and mentally capable, as well as more confident and charismatic. He also gained skills, items, and weapons that enhanced his combat prowess, but the unique and impressive ability he gained was necromancy, the power to raise the dead as the Shadow Army. Sung Jin Woo unlocked the hidden class of Shadow Monarch after fulfilling a select quest. The Shadow Monarch is one of the cosmic beings created by the Absolute Being, the creator of the universe. The Shadow Monarch was originally the greatest fragment of the Brilliant Light, the leader of the rulers who fought against the Monarchs, the enemies of the Absolute Being. However, he betrayed his allies and joined the Monarchs, becoming the Shadow Monarch. It was this monarch Ashborn who chose Sung Jin Woo as his successor. As the Shadow Monarch, Sung Jin Woo can use the power of shadows and necromancy. Sung Jin Woo could extract the shadows of any beings he killed, except for other monarchs, and turn them into his loyal and obedient army. He could store them in his dimensional inventory, summon them at will, and command them telepathically. He could also swap places with any of his shadows. As Sung Jin Woo levels up, his shadows grow more powerful, with some surpassing S-rank hunters in strength. He can use these shadows to heal himself, spy on others, and travel between dimensions. Sung Jin Woo commanded the Shadow Army with millions of formidable soldiers, each possessing unique abilities and personalities. Former hunters, monsters, beasts, and even dragons were among Sung Jin Woo's generals and commanders. The higher ranks include Tusk, a powerful mage who wielded the Orb of Avarice, a magic artifact that doubles his damage output. He leads the mages in Sung Jin Woo's army and is one of his most loyal followers. Igris, one of Sung Jin Woo's first and strongest shadows, is a noble and loyal knight who is also one of his most trusted advisors. He wields the Demon King's longsword, a weapon that can summon lightning with every swing. Beru, a former Antkin and Sung Jin Woo's right-hand man responsible for protecting his sister Jinna. Beru is a skilled fighter capable of clearing E-rank dungeons by himself. Belion, the Grand Marshal of the Shadow Monarch's army and Sung Jin Woo's second in command. He is a master of swordsmanship and strategy, and is a veteran of countless battles. Belion is so strong that he easily defeated Beru in a duel, and was formerly the subordinate of Ashborn. The regeneration of the Shadow Soldiers relies on Jin Woo's mana. The Shadow Monarch's mana reserves will eventually diminish if the soldiers receive significant damage. However, after acquiring the Black Heart and ascending as Shadow Monarch, Jin Woo's mana capacity increased drastically. This increase in mana capacity allows him to restore millions of soldiers with no effort during battles, virtually having near infinite mana. Sung Jin Woo had become an unstoppable force with his powerful system, well-equipped army, and deadly weapons. He had defeated the most formidable hunters in the world, including Hwang Dong-soo, an S-rank hunter, and Thomas Andre, the strongest hunter in the world, using only his fist. He could also face the other monarchs, the cosmic beings that ruled over different aspects of nature, such as iron, ice, east, and destruction. Sung Jin Woo was the only one who could stand against them, as he possessed both the powers of a monarch and a ruler, thanks to his connection to the Shadow Monarch, who was once the greatest fragment of the Brilliant Light. Sung Jin Woo's strength, speed, durability, and magic were beyond human comprehension. He could effortlessly punch through buildings, evade light speed attacks, withstand nuclear blasts, and recover from any injury. He could also use various skills to overpower his enemies, such as mutilation, the ability to rip a target apart with his daggers, causing severe damage and bleeding. He can use this skill to inflict pain and suffering on his enemies or to end their lives swiftly. Quicksilver, which increases his speed by 30% for a short period. He can use this skill to dodge attacks or to catch up with his enemies. Stealth, which he can use to erase his presence from both physical and magical senses, making him undetectable even to the mightiest hunters. He can use this skill to sneak up on his enemies or to hide from unwanted attention. Bloodlust, the ability to instill fear in his enemies with his aura, paralyzing them with terror. He can use this skill to intimidate, persuade, or boost morale. Dagger sends a barrage of daggers towards the target, dealing multiple wounds and overwhelming the enemy. Dragon Sphere, a skill that involves releasing a mana-infused shout. This shout causes anyone weaker than him to fall into a state of panic and despair. He can use this skill to demoralize his enemies or assert his dominance. Clairvoyance, which allows him to scan all of Earth at once. Sung Jin Woo is immune to any disease, illness or poison. He could even astralize, transforming into a giant shadow resembling the original Shadow Monarch. In this form, he could match the size and power of Antares, the Monarch of Destruction and the strongest of all the other monarchs, except for Jinwoo of course. Most people, even some immortals, cannot escape time, but Sung Jin Woo is different. He became a causal at the end of solo leveling. This means he is free from time in all ways. Sung Jin Woo has transcended the concept of time, making him immune to any temporal effects. He has even slowed down time infinitely to the point it looked like it stopped at one point. He is very hard to kill because he can exist in different timelines. The past, present and future do not matter to him like others. His ability to manipulate time almost at will makes his existence highly intricate. Sung Jin Woo possesses the ability of existential erasure, which allows him to erase one's presence from existence, including at the subatomic level. He is immune to this ability himself. He held his arm after surviving the Wrath of Destruction, which can erase all things in the universe. This attack within a 1,000-kilometer range even erases immortal shadows that could resurrect from nothing. This ability also gives him reactive evolution, allowing him to adapt to any attack he faces once. He completely tanked the Breath of Destruction the second time around. On top of this, Sung Jinwoo has the territory of eternal rest, an infinite-sized world where he is the ruler. He determines everything that happens in the boundless world. If anyone gets trapped there, they are in big trouble. Sung Jinwoo's journey culminated in his ultimate battle against Antares, which took place in a different dimension. Jinwoo unleashed his full power and exploited his various abilities, including Monarch's domain, which increased the stats of his shadows by 50%, and ruler's authority, which allowed him to manipulate objects and opponents with his mind. He employed all of the skills to gain the upper hand against Antares. It is important to know that Jinwoo's remarkable feats happened on a much stronger and more resilient Earth. This is because mana fortified the planet for over 10 years, making it able to withstand the last war. Jinwoo's presence became a threat to the Earth as there was no more mana left on it. After defeating the Monarchs and closing the last gate, Sung Jinwoo still had one more mission to complete. He needed to prevent the gates from ever opening and the Monarchs from ever invading. To achieve this, he used the Cup of Reincarnation, which was given to him by the rulers, to travel back in time. Jinwoo used his power to create gates and immunity to the concept of time to keep his prowess in the past. He then faced the Monarchs again, one by one, and fought them for 27 years without rest. During this time, Jinwoo finally reached the point where the first gate opened, and he closed it with his power, erasing the history of hunters and monsters. He then returned to the present, where he found a peaceful world. However, no one remembered him or his deeds, except for a few people who had a special connection to him. Jinwoo reunited with his sisters, father friends and love interest Cha Hee-in, and lived a somewhat ordinary life. Sung Jinwoo is undoubtedly the most powerful character in solo leveling, and one of the strongest characters in fiction. He went from being the weakest hunter to the strongest being on Earth. Jinwoo had a unique and impressive set of abilities, skills, weapons and soldiers that made him unstoppable. Jinwoo has surpassed the limits of the system, the Shadow Monarch and possibly even the Absolute Being. He has defeated all the other monarchs, earned the respect of the rulers, and saved the Earth from destruction. He has achieved godlike power and has no equal in his universe. Jinwoo is the savior of humanity and the forgotten legend of solo leveling. But despite his immense power, Jinwoo is not a tyrant or a villain. He is still a kind, caring and humble person who values his family and friends. So, how strong is Sung Jinwoo? The answer is simple. He is the strongest. He is the ultimate hunter, necromancer and monarch. He is Sung Jin Woo, the Shadow Monarch. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content. And don't forget to share this video with your friends who are also fans of solo leveling. See you next time. Peace.